All right, folks, welcome back. Sheepdog Smokey here, and here we go again. From Politico, of all places. Want to fix presidential elections? Here's the quickest way. Abolishing the Electoral College and creating a national popular vote are far fetched ideas for now, but there's a more targeted way to reform American elections by 2020, starting with the swing states. When Senator Elizabeth Warren recently called for eliminating the Electoral College, she injected new energy into the long running debate over electoral reform. Americans are understandably disillusioned with how the Electoral College picks presidential winners. The system arguably functions contrary to the expectations of how a democracy should work, and inconsistently with the purpose the founders intended. Both incorrect, both lies. There are some there are some bold reform proposals on the table that deserve consideration in the long run. Ideas that would solve the problem that presidents can be elected despite the majority of voters opposing them, an outcome unthinkable in any democracy. We're not a democracy. Committed to majority rule. We don't have majority rule. The problem is that most of these proposals either aren't going to be feasible by 2020, if ever, or on close inspection, would actually worsen the problem they're intended to solve. But there is a more tactical, targeted approach reformers could take, one that would be doable by 2020 and would seriously improve the current system. This approach wouldn't require a sweeping, improbable overhaul of the entire system. In fact, it would keep the Electoral College intact. The key is to focus reforms on swing states, the battlegrounds where elections are decided, and get them to embrace, via ballot initiatives or legislation, electoral systems that reward only candidates who win a majority of the vote. Ideally, the whole country would adopt this reform, but just having the five main toss up states on the board in 2020 would eliminate a significant amount of risk that the election results could go against national popular vote. I'm going to stop here. I don't know how much more I'm going to read of this because I'm going to explain something very simple. And we're going to use Politico's own uh, art, whatever we can see of it, to kind of explain it. You see, electoral representation is based on House of Representatives representation. Texas is a more populated state than Montana. Texas, therefore, has more members in the House of Representatives than Montana. Texas, therefore, gets 25 electoral votes. Montana gets 4. By saying national popular vote, you're advocating for, and we'll just use those states right there. You're advocating for Oregon, Idaho, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, all together not being equal to Texas. Because voter turnout, voter fraud, and so on. We have incontrovertible proof from the state of Texas that there is voter fraud and was in 2016 and 2018. We have incontrovertible proof that there are over 3 million more voters on the voter rolls than there are legal American citizens above the age of 18. These problems are not the ones that are being addressed. They're very simple to do. Purge every voter from the rolls right now. Notify everyone in the country that is a legal American citizen at age 18 or older that they have been completely purged from their voter rolls and must register again prior to a certain date to be eligible to vote in the 2020 election. Once that is done, all Americans would then register. From there, we would have accurate representation. The problem is they don't want this. You see, you can just barely see it, but California right now has 40 electoral votes. By land size, California and Texas are not far off on square miles. But because of megacities like Los Angeles, they're far more populated. What people don't want you to know is that a large number of their population are illegal aliens. And thanks to Governor Moonbeam, Jerry Brown, there is a motor voter law, and illegal aliens are given licenses to drive motor vehicles. Therefore, when they give an illegal alien a driver's license, they also register said non-American citizen who is in the country illegally to vote. They would have you believe this is for local elections only. They're not going to vote in anything that affects the country as a whole. But they're not stopped. And this is what they want to change. They want California, New York, and maybe Washington to decide the election from here out. They talk of the tyranny of the minority, but why should 3 states be allowed to swing an entire election over the other 47? go and look up the electoral map by county from 2016. Donald Trump won overwhelmingly the number of counties that Hillary Clinton won. The fact that a roughly, I would say, 10 to 1 ratio for every 10 counties Trump won, Hillary won 1 county. So a 10% should not be able to have the same amount of popular vote. But we've had so many years of Democrats preventing the U.S. Census from asking, are you a citizen? Again, it is not brown shirt wearing, jackbooted thugs kicking in doors and dragging people into the streets at gunpoint. Are you a citizen? It's done by mail. It's done by phone. And for some areas, it's done by beleaguered, underpaid, overworked government-employed civilians who simply want to check something off on their clipboard and move along. So, if we were to truly find out how many citizens we have over the age of 18, I'm betting the number of voters over that we have would be 4 to 4.5 million or more. So we would actually find we have more ghost voters than we actually think we have. And the problem that liberals have is that they can't just make California able to override 20, 25 states as much as they would like it to. And because of that, they're now trying to get states to say, okay, fine, we will let California decide our vote. Because I know Colorado right now has actually got this very close to passing or already passed it. So Colorado's 6 Electoral College votes would go to whoever Los Angeles picked. Because I guarantee you Los Angeles is going to affect the popular vote until we know how many American citizens 18 or over that we have, and we have responsible voter ID laws. Common sense vote control. Now, if we had that, I would be willing to bet California would actually go red. And one thing I'm waiting to see, because as I've talked about in another video, the economy is so stinking strong, we're actually rivaling Reaganomics because we're doing it faster than we did in the 80s. So when Americans go to vote next year, we already know Donald Trump has far more support than he did in 2016 from women, African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, from all walks of life. His approval ratings are far and above what they were projected to be. His approval rating is higher than Barack Obama at this point in his first term. The Democrats are so focused on this that they're trying to impeach him because he did not collude with Russia, he did not obstruct, and he won't just cave to them on something that he is not legally required to do. Representative Al Green, a disgrace to the state of Texas, has actually said if we don't impeach him, he'll win again. So now they're actually admitting we have to impeach him because we can't beat him. I know my politics is not the same as a lot of people. That's honestly what makes the country great. Being able to debate things, being able to go back and forth and learn from each other. But the simple truth of it is, more people have jobs than at any point in the last 50 years. Unemployment at a record low. Taxes are lower for everyone, except those who don't pay taxes, because you can't get lower than 0. We are enforcing our laws. We are securing our border. Terrorists are running scared. We're pulling out of useless treaties that all they did was send money to other countries that hate us. So our nation is stronger and stronger every week. And the Democrats can't stand it. They need us weak and pliable. And if we don't stop them, they will finally exert Orwellian control and just declare, sorry, no, the person you voted for can't be president because we say so. And I've made the prediction before. If that actually ends up happening, this country will fracture. I've already made the suggestion to my governor more than once that if the Democrats manage to steal power back and they start shredding the Constitution, the state of Texas needs to say, you avoided the Constitution, therefore you avoided the nation, therefore we are no longer part of your country. We are our own. The military will stand with the people, plain and simple, because if they void the Constitution, they voided the soldier's oath. And unfortunately, I think we're headed for a time when they're going to try it, and we're going to see a very dark period of our history. But I've talked long enough on this. I really didn't know how much of this article I was actually going to get through. It's why I linked them all in the description. If you can actually make it through without getting a migraine, let me know, because you're better at it than I am. But let me know what you think. As always, keep it civil. We do not learn from arguments. We learn from debate. The Electoral College is clearly laid out. It evens the playing field so that Montana has the same proportional representation as every other state. As always, let me know, though, what you think. Also, please remember to like, share, and comment on this video, as well as to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you're among the first to know of any and all new content as it is posted. Until the next time, everyone, have a wonderful day.